Hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie Holbrook, and I am the founder of the Wings of Change. Shelley, can you go back to the first slide for me, please? We are ahead a couple slides. Perfect. Thank you. So, once again, my name is Stephanie Holbrook, and I am the founder of the Wings of Change. So, thank you guys for being here. I'm going to talk today about the Gulf fritillary butterfly. It's the passion fruit butterfly. Gulf fritillary. But first, let me talk about the Wings of Change and who we are. So, the Wings of Change, Shelley, can you pause the? Thank you. Perfect. So, the Wings of Change, I am Stephanie, and I guess my passion for flowers came a long time ago when my grandma had this amazing yard. And then, as I look back at my life, I got to spend a lot of time with my grandma as a little girl because she was working at the flower fields, and that was really cool. But now, as I look at my mother's yard, she also has so many beautiful things, and she has had a green thumb all her life. So it's kind of inbred in us. I just planted at my aunt's house, so it's kind of who we are. The Wings of Change is actually trying to bring the butterflies back. We are trying to teach people how to plant California natives plus other plants that are not native to this area that we know will help bring the pollinators back. We know that these are confirmed hosts for caterpillars, which will turn into moths or butterflies. So it's really important to remember that we are trying to create the whole ecosystem. So we're a brand new nonprofit. This is our first free live webinar for you, and we're going to be talking about the Gulf fritillary. It's the passion fruit butterfly, and this whole presentation was sponsored by the Go-To Crew, which is a cleaning company here in Fallbrook, and we appreciate them. So, Shelley, if you'll go to the next slide for me, please. Perfect. And then, oops, other way. Perfect. So, we are actually talking about the passion fruit vine and the Gulf fritillary. So let's talk about the passion fruit first. It is something that we can grow here in our area, and they say that our health is beneficial if we can eat things that we can grow. So not only does passion fruit grow with very little water, it actually gets the water that's a runoff from my planter box in the front of my house. It's really good for us. So it gives you, with one little tiny fruit and so many little tiny things of seeds, it gives you vitamin A, C, iron, potassium. And if you don't know how to use it, some ways that we found and I've been trying, you can make it in a salad dressing. You can add it to your summer iced tea. I will tell you that the fruit juice separates very quickly, so I would just add it to the tea. The seeds inside the tea are actually really fibrous, and they're really pretty. I have some I've been harvesting to plant, but I feel like might even be like maybe a flax seed. They're so sturdy. You can make a passion fruit curd that's pretty amazing. And of course, you can add it to smoothies. So, passion fruit, not only is it good for the bugs, but it's good for us, and the bugs don't eat it so much that you'll have a lot of fruit. The life cycle, we're going to talk about the Gulf fritillary butterfly. It's this beautiful orange butterfly, and the way it lays its eggs here is, if you notice in the left-hand picture there's a little tiny spiral, and their egg is laid on that spiral. So on the right-hand picture, you'll see that is like a microscopic little tiny egg. And so among this big giant vine that grows across the fence at my house, you'll see this little tiny egg. So from the egg, I'm talking about a life cycle here, you'll see this little tiny caterpillar. It's much smaller than that. Obviously, it's red. So red would indicate that don't touch it. The spines also indicate that don't touch it. So it's a warning sign to both humans and their predators. This one is not poisonous to any of the birds, but it is able to give humans a little bit of a irritation, if you will. So, oh, I forgot to mention this. So, in the egg cycle, it should be an egg for about 3 to 5 days, but as a caterpillar, it will stay this way for about 11 to 16 days. Go ahead. So, and then after that, it will be, this is kind of a cool picture. It's a double. So it will be a pupa or the cocoon for 11 to 21 days. And if you see at the top of this picture, there's a brown area that's actually attached to that tiny little twig. And on the bottom of that cocoon, she has emerged. You can tell that that's the female because she's a little bit browner than the male. The males are usually brighter in color, but probably as she was drying her wings, the male has already started mating with her. So it's two butterflies on the outside of a cocoon and they're mating. So it's a pretty awesome picture. We actually have a copyright that was actually available for us from Canva, which is pretty amazing. But we have some amazing um, websites that we can visit as well to look at where we got this information. One of the books that I wanted to talk about and wanted to make sure that I mentioned was I have the Swift Guide to Butterflies of North America by Jeffrey Glassberg, who is, I think he's the president, maybe the founder, president at any rate, of the National Butterfly Association, which is where I first started learning about butterflies, I don't know, 10, 11 years ago now. So there it is. That is the pupa, a female, and a male Gulf fritillary. Go ahead and go to the next slide for me, please. So there is a male Gulf fritillary open. And then once again, these will become butterflies and they will become, last between 14 and 27 days. You can tell on this picture, there's a couple of really rad things about the fritillary. I think we might have skipped some pictures, so we might have to go back in just a second. But the fritillary, you can see, it looks a lot similar to the monarch, but the other orange butterflies, they have the little white dots at the top of their orange. So at the top of their wingspan, they have the white inside the black. And so that is pretty indicative, I guess, of it being a fritillary. There are many kinds of fritillaries, actually, and these are part of the brush-footed butterfly family. Okay, so go ahead and go one more forward for me, Shelley. Okay, let's go back and see if I can find what we had, if you don't mind. Back, 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 and back, and back, and back, and back. One more. One more. Okay, here we go. One more forward. There we go. So thank you for that. So what we have on the bottom left, thank you, Rob Wood, for this amazing picture. In this picture, you can see the narrow leaf milkweed that we're going to be talking about later. It's actually the host plant for the monarch caterpillar, and you can see the monarch, which is the large orange butterfly in the bottom left-hand picture. It's pretty amazing. This is a giant flower, and inside that flower, up to the left, you can see a bee, and then up to the left, even further, you can see a little tiny black flying insect of some kind. So this is something that we'd like to highlight, and it is part of the native ecosystem here in California. And it's super duper essential, I guess, for our ecosystems here. So there's the monarch in the bottom left-hand picture, highlighted on our butterfly of the, or the plant of the month, the native narrow leaf milkweed. So up to the left, you can see the Gulf fritillary butterfly. And you can see the difference in the outside of the wing now. Those white spots that we talked about on the top, on the inside, are important because there's other orange butterflies. But at the bottom, you can see they're very different from a monarch. Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. And so now we can talk about it. This is the book that I love, and I just mentioned it. It is called A Swift Guide to Butterflies of North America, and it's by Jeffrey Glassford. It's the second edition, and so we know that from this book, and I've given you guys the picture, they're found in the southern parts of the United States and into South America. They've also been found in the Caribbean and Hawaii. All of the caterpillars always eat on the passion fruit vines. There are so many passion fruit vines. Some of them are, they reproduce by seeds, and some of them reproduce by things underneath the ground or rhizomes, roots. So the ones that are invasive are usually the rooted ones that you can just dig out. I haven't found it to be invasive. I have found it to be prolific, and I have to cut the vines off for me. So this is one of those vines here in Southern California. We actually live in Fallbrook, that it grows wild, and it will cover fence lines and offer a lot of privacy, as well as a lot of habitat. So on my vines, I have lots of tiny winged creatures that spend the night on it and have harbor over the night, which is pretty amazing. So once again, they usually have about 3 broods per year here in Southern California, and they eat the vine, and we have lots of fruit. It doesn't matter. So there's spiders, birds, and definitely a lot of winged insects that I can't identify. So off we go to the next slide. And here we go. Here's the passion fruit vine. Up to the top left, I've taken a picture of a passion fruit flower. It's soon to be a fruit. And so there are these gorgeous flowers that are all over the vine. It's not native to our area. It's actually native to the tropical regions down, and some of them have been, I think this one's native to Brazil. So they've been talked about. The Spanish settlers were said to have talked about it was the Passion of the Cross because of the shape of the flower. So if you see the flower on the top, there's actually kind of a cross, maybe, and then there are 5 points to it. So there's lots of theory and lore, if you will, on the Catholic religion. You can look that up if you'd like. But so that's the flower. It's really beautiful. I leave them on the vine, and it's amazing. And so right below that picture, we have the passion fruit, and when it's green, it's just hanging from the vine. I don't ever pick it usually. It just, when it gets heavy enough, it drops. And then, so the next picture to the right is the ripe fruit, and then I cut it open. And so now, well, I guess we'll go to the next slide. If anybody wants to see that, the gelatinous stuff, I've done some, definitely done some recipes and things on Facebook or Instagram. You can follow me there. So there's the passion fruit nutrition. Again, you can put it in teas. It's really good for us. And here's the life cycle. The egg, 3 to 5 days. The caterpillar is 11 to 16 days. The cocoon will be 11 to 21 days. And again, that's the top brown part. And then the butterfly will actually last from 14 to 27 days. And they live in almost all the southern states in the United States, all the warmer states down below. And some have been spotted up above. If you have a pretty good garden, you can get them. Passion flowers, how you get them. Okay, so I think that's it about the passion flower butterfly, or the Gulf fritillary. Next, we're going to talk about the invasive plant of the month. The invasive plant of the month, the fountain grass, is actually, it's beautiful. It's really pretty, and if you see it around town, you might see it in people's planter boxes, and sometimes people have it all along, like you see it in really fancy I think, golf resorts. Like you see them in planter boxes, and it's a beautiful, really tall, upright grass. It's very easy to grow. However, the reason we don't like fountain grass is because as I drive around town right now, I'm really kind of blown away how often I've seen it. I give thanks to Jackie Heineman and Diane Kennedy and Susan Leibus because they all have taught us very well through the Fallbrook Land Conservancy that it's highly invasive. And so when one little bunch of fountain grass is in a planter, you can almost always see it. And it will go down and blow down the streets, and it will fill every sidewalk crack and every spot it can. It will sprout. And so a lot of people think it's just as pretty. And so it will continue its journey right down the road. You can see it. And so the other day I was on Highway 78 at Sycamore in Vista, California. And it is incredibly invaded the entire both sides of the freeway. I'm like, wow, look at that. And it's all from the top of this one hillside. And it's true. It is, they've talked about it. The Wings of Change is very grateful for a website that we have here. And it's called the Invasive Plant Council of California. And so on their website, they've actually listed it as a B classification, which means that A is like the mussels on the bottom of the boat. It's like A means you can never have it. B means it should be, a little bit more metered. It's definitely invasive, yet we still sell it in the stores. So the Wings of Change hopes to tell everybody, please don't let it grow. Pull it from your area and help it. They recommend to remove it that you dig up the roots. For sure, you do not want it to flower. So that's the invasive grass or weed of the month. You can see it throughout everywhere. Like as soon as you see that, you'll see it. I've shown you the dead and the alive. You want to bag it, tag it, throw it out because that seed will sprout quicker than any other seed. It's been there longer. So I'd like to introduce to you instead the plant of the month, which is the narrow-leaf milkweed. The narrow-leaf milkweed, as we talked about before, is a native plant to California, and it is known to be growing wild throughout the desert floor in Palomar Mountain. And Rob Wood, I think he said he found it down in the San Diego area. It has 0 water needed. These are spread by seed and they kind of will become a patch. So it's what we need. It's very inexpensive, and once allowed to take off, it will do its thing. Once again, we want to talk about the whole ecosystem though. So if you only plant narrow leaf, it's probably not going to be that amazing. So we would recommend getting some kind of a seed or a partner plant with it. So if you're going to be putting it into sandy soil, you would pick something with a sandy soil, and we can definitely help you with that. But the narrow leaf milkweed tolerates a lot of kinds of soils, even including clay, and it is host to the monarch caterpillar, the queen caterpillar, and according to Calscape, another amazing resource that the Wings of Change is partnered with and supporting, Calscape says that there's up to 6 different moths and caterpillars. So it's an amazing California native. We can get it in 1 gallons from Moosa Creek. They're $9.99 each, or you can get 2-inch starts for $5. We can talk about, there's a bunch of habitat. Plants that we can get, so we can pick out a whole garden series for you if you'd like. So that is about the narrow leaf milkweed. Okay, and there it is, just another picture. Okay, so if anybody wants to purchase any of the things that we talked about, the passion fruit seeds are 10 seeds and they're $5, and that includes shipping. The whole fruits are available for pickup here only in San Diego, Fallbrook, and those are $3 each. We have a couple of 5-gallon passion fruit vines. Those are $50 each. The peat pots, if you'd like to try to start them at home, we recommend that you start them in the peat pots, and those are 25 cents each. The trays and the liners and the tray lids are all together. If you wanted the tray and the liner and the lid, it's $11. But if you just wanted to put the peat pots in it, 72 peat pots fills that up and we'll give you a discount. So call us about that. The narrow leaf milkweed again is, we have the 2.5-inch starts for $5 each, and the gallons are $9.99 for pre-order. And don't forget, we have tons of seeds on our website. So we are also looking for sponsors for properties to place billboards to tell everybody about this every month. So we live in Fallbrook. We are a very rural, unincorporated, amazing village. It's pretty wonderful when you see what the Fallbrook Land Conservancy has done, and Save Our Forest, and all Fallbrook Beautification Alliance has a little strip, and so all these nonprofits, if you will, have helped to keep our city, or our town, it's not a city, it's unincorporated, keep our town amazingly beautiful. But it's been our hard work that's done it. We have volunteers like Stephanie Crawford who go out and pick up trash every single month just because she wants to do good. We have amazing people in this community. So what we're looking to do is talk to other people in other places. So we have the Highway 76, which so many people travel through to Temecula. We'd love to have somebody who lives off of that highway. Let us put a billboard on your area. Let us change it every month and say, these are the 3 things that we want to talk to you about. We will provide the signs. We just need the space to put them, if you will. We'd love to come off a Mission Road, anywhere off a Mission, but I think if we could impact those folks coming off of Camp Pendleton, it would be really great. So both ways off of that Mission Road out of Camp Pendleton. So, and then 15, right? We live right next to the 15 freeway, north and south, if you live on any side of that. And I am not opposed to going anywhere. We can go nationwide. Fountain grass is all over California. It's affecting all of our hills, all over. It's a Class B weed, invasive. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, I only see 2 people live now. So thank you for being here. I wish I knew who you were. If you have any questions, please feel free to call me or drop us a line on the web. I'm hoping a lot of people tune in later. Okay, so again, I don't know if I said this yet. We have a 30% off sale going on this mug right there. If you'll see, it's actually a monarch and the milkweed. It's host plant. It's on 30% off sale. You can always book a habitat consultation with me. You can book an in-person or video visit with me, and I will send you a list of everything that I think will work in your area. Look at what you already have, make a list for you, and then send it to you via email. You can go on our website to find that. You can become a Wings of Change member. You can just text Sprout to 919999 to donate. We appreciate any donation, but you can donate monthly. And remember, it's all a nonprofit, so it's a tax write-off later. What we plan to do. This is kind of my game plan for the next year. We live in Fallbrook, so I want to become the butterfly capital of the world. Instead of being the avocado capital of the world, I plan to be the butterfly capital of the world. We are the entrance to the Indian lands that I think are super native still, and we can totally impact, which is pretty amazing. And then Fallbrook, which is very rural, very unincorporated, and so we just need to add a couple more of the caterpillar host plants and we'll be off and running. I'd like to offer more free monthly workshops, just like we had before. Shelly, if you can go back one screen, please. Thanks. I really want to be offering educational events at schools for free. Free community education, doing this again for free. I want to go. I know I already have a couple of partnerships with the Fallbrook Women's Club and the Fallbrook Beautification Alliance, and I hope to be speaking there soon. So if you want to help have me speak with you, please call me and let me know. I don't hate to be inviting myself, but yes, please. And then community partnerships. We would love it if you guys have an area that you want to have a butterfly garden. If you plant it, I want to help you maintain it. So we want to have community partnerships with you. And then last but certainly not least, we love to have garden parties. So if you would like to have an event at your home and you want to have your friends over and I have a quaint little introduction, I'll tell them all about the butterflies and I'll probably talk too much just like I did today. And yeah, you can join us and be the wings of change at your own home. So thank you guys so much for being here. And we hope to see you again next month.